that pork alone. So a person may think one of you are lying. Could you talk to us about how y'all two could say the same thing in different ways and both be right at the same time? Like the Dr. Sadie student could be right and you could be right at the same time. Talk to me about that so we can understand that this is all interconnected with each other.
Yeah, you want to look at the nature of what we refer to as disease. We're talking about a basic imbalance that's impacting body, mind, spirit. You know, so the dysfunction begins in the mind. And when we speak of mental dysfunction, we're talking about emotional instability. So every organ in your body corresponds to an emotional frequency. The liver corresponds to anger. The lungs correspond to despair, corresponds to depression.
What about the kidneys?
The kidneys correspond to fear. Spleen corresponds to worry. So every organ, every major organ in your body corresponds to a specific emotion that when the organ becomes weak, that specific emotion that it corresponds to completely disrupts organ and glandular function, which weakens the mind and makes you dysfunctional on many different levels. So
I remember they talking about pork and stuff.
One of the things in Qigong
and addictions,
and this is what I focus on first and foremost, is creating emotional stability.
Emotional stability.
And I create emotional stability by going in and reinvigorating and reinforcing frequency within the specific organs of the body.
How do you do that?
Talking to the organs.
Reinforcing in an organ.
There are specific tones or sounds that correspond to each organ in the body. So for example, look at the lungs. So the lung chi is invigorated and expanded by a very specific tone. So that tone would be
Come on.
by doing that sound, it removes the accumulated toxic emotional imbalances that have accrued in that particular organ, the lung.
So
each organ has its own specific sound and frequency to re-establish balance.
Is that because that organ makes that sound?
That sound vibrates when you listen to the organ in terms of the frequency that it discharges. One of the frequencies